The infrastructure bill was, again, like so many things in the Biden administration, false advertising. He started out by saying he needed $2.25 trillion or the nation would fall apart. Then, when enough folks, even on his side of the aisle, balked at the alarming price tag, suddenly 1.2 trillion was the magic number. It was the figure we just couldn't do without. Clearly, the amounts were arbitrary, and for the most part, too much of this money will be going to pay off the Democratic cronies and their supporters. I was a hard no on this bill from the beginning because the CBO scored it very differently than Biden did. The CBO, which is the Congressional Budget Office, is, to use Biden's past words, the gold standard in fiscal matters. They are nonpartisan and they use math and fairness as their guide. Biden claimed this massive spending was paid for. CPO disagreed, saying that approximately $420 billion would be added to the debt if this bill was passed into law. That's reason enough to vote no. But wait, of course, as always with these guys, there's more and there's much more. Nearly 90% of this 1.2 trillion wouldn't even go towards real infrastructure. You know, like roads, bridges, waterways, broadband, internet in the 21st century. Now, 65 billion would go for clean energy projects. You know, like Solyndra, that worked out real well. Or 21 billion for environmental remediation. And you can rest assured that would be going to blue states like Illinois, New Jersey, New York, and California. How about this one? $66 billion for Amtrak's Northeast Corridor alone. That a good investment? $39 billion for other mass transit. So why almost $100 billion? Why so much for transit? Well, mass transit, where's it almost entirely located? Liberal big cities, particularly in the Northeast, where it's chock full of Democratic voters and Democratic donors that own companies that would get this money. And the Democrats were considering things like climate action, affordable housing, climate guidance, police accountability, and paid leave. Those were all suddenly infrastructure. One congressional Democrat even stated, and I pray he was talking tongue-in-cheek, that packing the Supreme Court is now infrastructure. Like, point being, Biden changed the definition of what infrastructure was, and it became code for liberal wish list and their spending spree. And if all this wasn't bad enough, the bill had to set aside 40% of the spending so it would go to vendors and companies that were part of marginalized communities. So the best and most efficient bid or vendor wouldn't be selected. No, quality and merit, throw it out the window. That would be set aside. In Joe Biden's America, it's far more important what someone looks like.